Good morning, everybody. This is Mikael from Healthwise Enterprise, the health food store that's located at 3807 East 8 Mile Road, about 3 blocks west of Ryan, between Ryan and DeQuinta. And we're there to service you from 10 to 6:30, Monday through Saturday. You can reach us directly at 586-757-DIET. Again, that's 586-757-3438. And you can still reach us at the old number, 313-366-DIET. And if you need to reach me directly, I encourage you just to send me a text. It's at 313-600-8532. There's a lot going on. And, well, we just hear this COVID virus every day, every minute, if you listen to that constant negative news, and which a lot of people do, because 99% of the people you run across, they wearing that mask, and not only they wearing that mask, they have that concerned look on their face, in this. It's like they worried, okay, and I didn't know really how detrimental this worrying can be to people until I ran across this article about COVID-19 pandemic has decimated mental health. And because I had studied to share with you about Lyme disease and a lot of the conditions that people study, or not study, but the conditions that people have. They may think it's one thing, like Alzheimer's, and it could be Lyme disease. And how we use the silver water, to kill that, because the Lyme disease is like cancer, likes to hide inside your cells. So your natural immune system go by the cells, see it's cool and keep on going. But silver water don't play that. It goes into all the cells, whether they're healthy or not. And if it sees a foreign substance in there, it kills it. But then I ran across this article, and it was videos about 35 minutes long. And people are suffering mentally, and they are. It is getting worse. Okay, and to the point where people are killing themselves. Suicide rate is going up, and it's going up higher because folks can't provide for themselves, can't provide for their family, and they don't see a way out. They take suicide as a way out, or substance abuse is on the rise, alcohol is on the rise because of this planned pandemic. And that, I always tell you in the detective stories, you want to know who did it, follow the money. Well, guess what? The billionaires, the top 10% of the people in this world, have triple, or not only, maybe even quadruple their wealth. That's 3 times more wealth that they already got, or maybe even 4 times more wealth that they already got. Since, January, March, that's phenomenal growth. When people are suffering because they can't get a job, or they go to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school, get a 4-year degree, and flipping burgers, because these folks can sign the jobs away overseas. So it's a lot going on. There's tapping, there's nutrition, there's exercising, There's ways to seek help, um, to in meditation. All these techniques help bring down the stress level. Getting creative of ways to making money. That's always there. In America, folks come over here not to get a job, but to create a job. It's, like I said, my heart goes out to those folks. I mean, I love what Triumph Church is doing. They feeding people. They're giving people money. They're giving people computers and laptops so they can continue on with the schooling. But not being around people is devastating to people. I mean, when in prisons, one of the punishments they use is put people in isolation. And us not being around each other is so healing. I mean, for years I always talked about hugs. Get it initially from my father, but hugs is so healing. Touching each other is healing. Being around people is healing. These masks they got people wearing is stressing people out. And they're not really protecting you against no virus, because the size of the virus is like Tony says, is about 1 micron, and the smallest size of the mass is 4 microns. So the virus go right through, breathing it in, breathing it out. So it ain't protecting you. Plus, you need oxygen to deal with so many different causes of diseases in the body. And that's been restricted with the mask. I'm so glad that they're letting children go without masks. I've seen nurseries and children not wearing no masks and just having a good time. But that's what we need to promote healing. So, I thought I mentioned, because I was led to let you know the cures first. Okay. And those are some of them: meditation, exercise, a good nutrition. So that's that B vitamin complex. It has all the B's in it. B vitamin help keep you cool, calm, and collected. Deep breathing. When I'm talking about deep breathing, is you breathe in through your nose slowly, a count of 6, 7, 8 seconds, and your chest, abdomen should come out. You do it slowly, and when you get your lungs full, you take in one more sip, and then you slowly breathe out your mouth or your nose. Again, 7, 8 seconds till your lungs like touching your spine or something. It takes about 15 seconds. That's 4 minutes for 5 minutes. You notice that your stress levels decrease within that first 1 or 2 minutes. Doing it for 5 minutes is like a trip to the restroom. Doing it for 20 minutes, twice a day, no matter what's going on, you bringing God into your life. And he ain't gonna forsake you. He got food for all the birds and other animals on the planet. He got something for you. But when we get into that spiritual state, what meditation does, you start finding out ways to make ends meet, to make even access. I can't brag enough about God being there for us. But there is a way. Uh, it's harder to get to when we, as a people, stressed out and worrying. But like to say, 98, no, 92% of the things that people worry about never happens, and that's still the case. Exercise. I mean, if it's nothing but running up and down the stairs, or walking around the block, or walking back and forth in your own house from one far end of the corner to the other. Okay, and you want to swing your arms. So you working your upper part of your body with the walking, and you working the lower part of your body with the walking, and the upper part of your body swinging your arms, or even carrying a weight. It's so important. And if you feel safe to walk outside, or they used to open the malls where people can walk around in the malls. I don't know if they still do that, but walking 20 minutes a day, um, every day or every other day, brings the stress level down, where folks don't have to kill themselves or deal with over use of alcohol. And, like I said, I always tell my niece and nephew, if you're going to drink alcohol, for every drink you have an 8-ounce glass of water. So that's beer, 8-ounce glass of water, wine, a shot, martini, whatever. Because alcohol dry your brain out, and drinking the water helps hydrate your body. Especially if you got some dude that's trying to get you drunk so he could take advantage of you. You drink that water with each drink. You drink them up under the table. Surprisingly, exercise is so good. I mean, love making is another form of exercise. Matter of fact, when we digest our food, we use more energy to anything we doing besides making love. Now, love don't always have to be where you entering a woman. It could be a massage that you do on your significant other's shoulders, even your children's shoulders, okay? Or the children doing your shoulders. This, all those things help to reduce the stress level until we find a way. Till we beat this system that they got that they didn't put on the whole world. I mean, this is just demonic to the nth degree. To shut down the whole world so you can make triple and quadruple your money. That's not God's way. God's way of sharing. You can't spend all that money in a lifetime. What much power you want? We people, we humans, we God made. We need resources too. So this is just some of the things that they report. Okay. Statistics show rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide are currently at an all-time high due to the COVID-19 pandemic response. I call it a planned pandemic because it's what they do. They just didn't happen. According to polls results published in the late August, 53% of American adults said that mental health, quote, has been negatively impacted due to worry and stress over the coronavirus. 36% reported having trouble sleeping. 32% have trouble eating. 12% report increased alcohol consumption and or substance abuse or use, and 12 report worsening of chronic health conditions due to worry and stress. Those faring the worst are people sheltering in place, 47% of whom report negative health effects, compared to 37% of those not sheltering in place. A CDC study found almost 41% of respondents reported anxiety, depression, or symptoms of trauma or stress-related disorder relating to the pandemic. Almost 41% of the people. That's like almost every other person you see. 13.3% of American adults report new or increased substance use as a way to manage stress. That's not the only way. 10.7% of adults said they seriously contemplating suicide in the past 30 days. That's more than 1 out of 10 people that's contemplating suicide. Unpaid caregivers for adults had the highest rate of suicide ideation at 30.7%, followed by young adults aged 18 to 25, 25.5%, and essential workers, 21.7%. The young adults, 18 to 24 years, 18 to 24 years old, over 25% of those people are considering suicide because of this planned pandemic. To me, the rich, they wouldn't care 2 cents if you killed yourself. So fighting to stay alive and fighting to show others how to stay alive is beating them at the game they perpetuating. See, they control the media, 95% of the media. So it's a key time to take the technique which we heard many, many times, is taking lemons and making lemonade. So we are creative beings, and that's what God intended us to do, is to create and create in a living and making a way out of no way. That's what we good at. We didn't come out of slavery with all this racism because we went along with what they put in the news and constantly told us. We kept on, we can say keep on keeping on, keep on pushing. Americans has had an epidemic of poor health long before COVID-19 appeared early this year. This has largely resulted in industrial propaganda influencing their choices of large amount of processed foods that are high in carbs and industrially processed vegetable oils. Dr. Wallach gave us a report back, I think it was 91. And I think then the United States was 17 in the world as far as longevity. The latest report he gave us, well, maybe a year ago, a little less than a year ago, it's like 49.50. So from like 91 to what, 21, 30 years, we went from 17th to 50. There's over 45 other countries that have a longer life expectancy than Americans before this pandemic. Now, all the nations in the world, all the money they spend on healthcare combined does not compare to what Americans spend on healthcare. So we're not getting the bang for the buck. We do what we can at Healthwise. We see people making a difference. I feel and know in my heart God is using us to counteract what these ultra rich folks is doing. However, over the past several months, several polls discovered more about the impact of COVID-19 planned pandemic response on mental health, and it's not good. In the feature video, Glenn Greenswald, host of Systems Update, discussed the crumbling of U.S. social fabric and exposes the rise in death of despair from drugs and suicide brought on by this planned pandemic. Anxiety, depression, and suicide are at an all-time high. Indeed, statistics show rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide currently at an all-time high. The Kaiser Family Foundations have conducted polls at regular intervals since the beginning of the pandemic. And here's a quick summary of findings over that. In early April poll, 45% of the respondents said the pandemic had disrupted their lives a lot, with women 49% being more disproportionately affected than men, 40%. At the time, 52% worried they would lose their job, and 85% worried local businesses would have to permanently close due to loss of revenue. See, the small business runs this country, but we have to come together to do just that. And for these gangsters telling us we can't come together because of the spread of the coronavirus, is killing people. Bottom line, the late July polls found that 60% of American adults still felt that the worst effects of the pandemic were still to come, down from 64% in early April. 53% now say worry and stress related to coronavirus has had a negative impact on their mental health. Of those responding, 4 in 10 report having trouble affording basic necessities or falling behind on their bills, the rents. Polls results published in late August revealed economic hardships have negatively impacted and affected many people's mental health and creating new barriers for people to already suffer from mental illness and substance disorders. As in the previous month, 53% of the American adults said that mental health, quote, has been negatively impacted due to worry and stress over the coronavirus. 36% report having trouble sleeping. 32 having trouble eating, and 12 report increased alcohol consumption or substance abuse and use. And 12% report worsening chronic health conditions due to worry and stress. See, that's why I gave you some solutions at the beginning of this report, of this show. Those faring the worst are people sheltering in place. 47% of whom report negative health effects compared to 37% of those not sheltering in place. Women with children under the age of 18 also report higher rates of mental health problems than male counterparts. The Kaiser Family Foundation reports more than 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. have reported symptoms of anxiety or depression disorder during the pandemic. Weekly average for May was 34%, weekly average for June was 36%, and weekly average for July is 40%. For comparison, from January to June of 2019, the rate of anxiety or depression disorder was 11%. So it's gone up almost 4 times. Depression and anxiety has gone up 4 times for the poor or the middle class, but the rich, the billionaires, their income has gone up 3 to 4 times. Interesting scenario. Okay. Stress is taking toll. CDC finds. Similarly, a study by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention published in August 14, 2020, found almost 41% of the over 5,000 respondents reported struggling with anxiety, depression, or symptoms of trauma or stress-related disorder, TSRD, relating to the planned pandemic. Over 13% of American adults reported new or increased substance use as a way to manage stress. And 10.7% of adults said they seriously contemplating suicide in the past 30 days. Unpaid caregivers for adults had the highest rate of suicide ideation at around 30.7%, followed by young adults, 18 to 24%, 18 to 24 years old. Their percentage is 25.5. And essential workers, 20.7. Symptoms of trauma and stress-related disorders caused by a pandemic, increased substance use, and suicide ideations were all also more prevalent among employed than unemployed respondents. Now, as we noted, Greenwald in the video above, depression and suicide rates will seem significant increase even more before the pandemic, especially among younger people. This, despite the explosion of social media, where you can stay connected to people across vast distances 24/7. See, the computer don't replace people. You can talk to your grandchildren all you want at a computer, and nothing like that touch, that exchange of energy, seeing one another, being in each other's company. The computer can't replace that. So, one of the things that I do, and I started to bring, I keep it in my car, is a Civil water spray. Because Wayne told us this all cold starts in the eyes. This news media is telling us that this coronavirus like to grow and multiply in our nasal passages. Okay. And so we've been spraying the eyes real fast. We blink real fast and spray the eyes. Just a miss. That's all it takes. But we may do it 1 or 2, maybe 5 times a day, especially if I'm going to be around a crowd of people. But I've been doing it for years. Inspire 2 times up each nostril, then breathe it in deeply to get into the lungs. Wayne tells us that the Civil water will kill the virus. Not only that virus, but the pathogens, which is parasites, fungus, viruses, mold, yeast. All those pathogens have one thing in common. It's that they are one cell, which is a foreign substance in your body. And breathing the Civil water in, spraying it in the eyes, is what Wayne told us how to help prevent that. Between lockdowns and mandatory mask orders, not only has physical contact been extinguished, but we also cannot see each other's facial expressions when wearing masks. Both significantly contribute to the feelings of alienation and loneliness. I swear, when people come into Healthwise, I've been knowing them for years, but they got their mask on. I don't know who I'm talking to. So they'll quickly drop the mask so I can see their nose and lips and all that, their whole face. So I know who I'm talking to. They put the mask back on or something. But at least I know who I'm talking to. It makes a difference. Uh, okay, I'm going to get about 3 or 4 more minutes of this because I can't take it. Antidepressant use has skyrocketed. Okay. According to an April 16, 2020 report by Express Scripts, an employee-based pharmaceutical benefit management company, prescriptions for antidepressants has also skyrocketed, rising 34% between mid-February and mid-March. Now, who owns these companies? Who makes the depression, antidepressant? Who makes the drugs? Those folks is the ones that's getting 3 and 4 times their monies. Between mid-February and mid-March, by which time stay-at-home orders have been issued for many parts of the U.S. Combined drugs for anxiety, depression, and insomnia rose by 21%. Again, the folks who make those drugs are getting rich. Mirroring polls results, far more women have turned to antidepressants than men, with women increased use by 40% compared to men who had a 22.7 rise in prescription drugs. Now, who makes these drugs is reaping the benefits. 40%? June the 3rd, 2020, the Food and Drug Administration reported that the antidepressant Zoloft has been added to the FDA's list of drugs experiencing shortages due to increased demand. Increased antidepressants use has also been reported in Queensland, Australia. All of this is regrettable considering studies. Then they list a bunch of studies. Oh, this is from a CODA website, by the way. Have repeatedly shown antidepressants work no better than placebos for mild to moderate depression and come with a long list of adverse, harmful health effects. That's why, again, B vitamins, to me, they always keep me cool, calm, and collected. Our popcorn is made with a high doses of B vitamins, which is a food to help keep you cool, calm, and collected. Your grains, like your millet, which is a food a lot of folks in Africa eat, and it's got the protein in it, and it's rich in B vitamins. Your brown rice, your black rice, okay, is your basmati rice is rich in B vitamins. According to a 2017 systematic review that includes mega-analysis and trial sequences analysis of 131 placebo-controlled studies, all trials were at high risk of bias, thereby rendering them clinically significantly less questionable. None of these trials, even when reporting a positive results, met the threshold for clinical significance of 3 points on the depression curve score. The author also pointed out that SSRI significantly increased the risk of both serious and non-serious adverse events, and that the potential small benefits effects can seem to be overwhelmed by harmful effects. All of that to say that the antidepressant drugs that people are taking is not working any better than placebo, the sugar pill. But people thinking they was taking something, but it really wasn't. Again, the things we talked about: exercise, meditation, being in touch with your creator, doing the deep breathing exercises, okay, tapping. All that helps to reduce the stress amount. Okay, suicide rates are spiking. Okay, we, isolation and loneliness is bad for our health, both physical and mental. Lack of social connection, heightening health risks as much as smoking three quarters of a pack of cigarettes a day, every day. Whew. It's 20 squares in a cigarette pack. So 3/4 would be 15. The isolation and loneliness is as bad as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. See, the smoking, what is you doing? You breathing in this drugs, this addictive drug. You can just breathe without the addictive drug, and it lowers your stress level. Every time I've done it, and it seems like the longer I do it, the more calmer I become. But I recommend at least 5 minutes. But if you can squeeze in 20, whew, that's really relaxing. Twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, whatever it takes. Um, Being around people, because that energy of us being connected promotes healing. Even if you just some is crazy, but the casinos are open. The churches are not. And the churches is one of the places that we go to congregate and be with one another. Live people. My church, Triumph, they have church outside. I mean, people be in their cars. But at least they can see other people. You know, that's on Sundays. Yeah, I think he does it twice a day. I think 8:30, 10:30, and 12:30. You can see it online. But just hanging out with your church members in the cars makes a difference. Isolation worsens already existing mental health issues. We wanted to do things to be with other folks. We just didn't go to the free concerts because it was free. It was going there to mingle. And that's so important. It is so healthy just being around other folks. And I be going in and out of stores. People had a mask on. I speak to them. Hi. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hope you have a good day. Now, over 50% of them will smile and wish the same for me. Half of them, they so gone, they don't say anything. Maybe they didn't hear me. I don't know. But it's the love that I'm sharing that I visualize coming from the top of my head, the soft spot in your head. God can still get in there and coming from the heart, just sending them love. God made them. Why would I love them? What would Jesus do? He'd love them all. And it's the energy, the love energy that's going through you, or going through me, that promotes healing and relaxation and oneness with the Creator. And everything's going to be all right. And it will be. And this is just sharing love. I mean, the half that do responds, but they smile. You could see the eyes just light up just because somebody spoke to him. He was a stranger, still another God creation. It's just a technique that I use. It's a belief that I have that this too shall pass. They ain't bad as God. They ain't as tough as God. They ain't as smart as God. And we tap into our source, we will overcome this. We will figure out a way. I mean, we're using food grade hydrogen peroxide, and it's been proven to test over and over again from universities that it will kill the virus in the room. So they use it here at WHPR. We use it at Healthwise. I use it at home. The owners of this station, they use it at home. And other folks begin to use it at home. I wish my church, Triumph, would use it. Then we could all congregate, don't have to worry about no disease traveling from one person to another, even if you sit next to them. If the air is full of hydrogen peroxide, and it's a real small portion. The study said 0.5% will kill the virus. We use 1%, which is 1 ounce of the 35% with 31 ounces of water. And that's twice the strength that they suggested in the study. Some people use 3%, which is 1 ounce with 11 ounces of water. We find that to be strong. It's effective, but it's strong. But all it takes is 0.5%, which would be 1 ounce to 64 ounces of water. Okay? And some studies even say less than that, 0.1%. Okay? So there's ways of cleaning the air. There's ways in enhancing your natural immune system. Probiotics is so key because it puts the friendly bacteria in your guts. Most Americans' friendly bacteria is 20%, and it should be 80%. To get that 80%, you can get the probiotic pills. We have them at Healthwise. It's like 3.4 billion per pill. The government recommend 9 billion. We recommend 4 pills, which would be 13 billion. Okay. You got probiotics in your fermented foods. Two of the most common ones are pickles and sauerkraut. Each mouthful give you trillions of friendly bacteria to enhance and boost your immune system. So somebody in the room is coughing, because your immune system's so high, that germ doesn't get a chance to grow inside your body because your immune system is so high. Kabushi mushroom, we make a drink out of that. It's loaded with trillions of friendly bacteria. Just another way of enhancing your immune system. The strong multiple vitamin, multiple mineral, and amino acids that we have, it's like over 19,000 milligrams of the trace minerals per bottle, over 600 per 1 ounce serving. And the way it goes, the rich supposed to put the soil and nourish the soil with the trace minerals. They stopped doing that. Latest report we know, it came out in the 30s, document 264, came out in 36, because the farmers were complaining because the animals were suffering from all kinds of diseases, and the government says it's because of a lack of minerals and trace minerals in the soil. So rather than putting it in there, they just came up with a supplement and just give it to the animals. And humans, want to give them Blue Cross Blue Shield. Well, Healthwise, we had the strong multiple mineral. You can get it by itself, which I highly recommend you get it with the minerals and the vitamins. And he also put amino acids in there, which is the building blocks of proteins. That's how these large animals on the planet that don't eat meat, don't eat dead animal parts. They just eat fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seed, grass, leaves. Those things have amino acids in it. And your body take that and make its own protein. Our diet. See, the water we have at Healthwise is rich in oxygen. And it has a frequency. I can't explain it. But it has a frequency in it that people have taken 8 ounces, 16-ounce bottle of some old juice, put this water in that bottle and strap it to that smart meter that they force everybody to have in their homes, that puts out radiation, a whole bunch of other negativity that we reported on. With this water, same water I've been sipping on since I've been here, neutralize the negative effects from that smart meter. We have a plug that does the same thing. Neutralize the negative effect from the smart meters. But the plug goes beyond that. You can put the plug on your phone, and in 5 minutes, the radiation and negativity that come from your phone is neutralized, and it turns your phone into a healing instrument. You want to test it? You can come by Healthwise. You put your plug on your phone for 5 minutes. Then you go get you some grapes or fruits and vegetables. You can take half of them, put it next to your phone for 30 minutes. 15 minutes is all it takes. And the other half, you keep it at least 3 feet away. And you do a taste test. And once you're convinced that the energy in your phone is promoting healing in your food, then you can put your phone next to all your food, whether you're at a restaurant, you're at a supermarket, no matter where you go. So you're counteracting the poisoning they're doing to the food. These are just gifts that we have gotten, and I just swear they come from God, but one way or another, to counteract what they're doing. I mean, the deep breathing, the meditation is being in touch with God. It's another gift from God. It's showing us what we can do. Can't go down without a fight, y'all. I swear. Can't go down without a fight. Okay. So this from Mercola's website, MERCOLA.com. Corona-19 pandemic has detrimented mental health. Okay. It's this tapping technique on there that I highly recommend you check out. I'm gonna see if I can get the engineer to record it. Maybe we can play it next week. But tapping, and they call emotional freedom techniques, works. They use it in foreign places like Africa in the deep woods to get rid of diseases. It's tapping into your mental strength. See, God hasn't forsaken us. He's given us the ability to heal ourselves with our thoughts. You ever have playing around doing some stuff in the kitchen or something, and you cut yourself, but you didn't even know you had cut yourself? You didn't even feel it. Wasn't no pain until you looked at it and saw it was bleeding. Oh, ah, then it's pain. It was that thought. If initially before you saw it, okay, it was no pain, that is a prime example of God's ability to show you you don't have to suffer, but just your thoughts. I mean, you could take care of the bleeding, but you can mentally think about less pain. And it works. Not sometime, every time. God has not forsaken us through this planned pandemic. It's just a time to call on God more so than we ever have before. Okay? Because our family and friends is killing themselves. So I know it's hard to talk to folks that that's suffering, but if you can't talk to them, you can pray for them. And in your meditation, you can send loving energy to them. The more loving energy you give out, the more comes to you, because you can't outgive God. So if everybody you run across, whether they talking to them or not, visually sending love to them, that's promoting healing inside you. And that, to me, is straight from God, because I ain't read any of that. We can beat this. We've been beating them, and we will continue to beat them, because God is on our side. And we have seen over and over in the Bible how we, the weaklings, the people, will inherit the earth. And that is the truth. Beyond any of this consistent, constantly negative news. Take that information and take that lemon and make lemonade with it. You can give us a call at 586-757-DIET. Again, that's 586-757-DIET. You want to reach me, you can do it at 313-600-8532. But you had to send me a text, because for 30-something years I've given out my number. So the only way I get some peace is forward the number to the store. But if you text me, I'll give you a call back. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm 70, so I got to calm down and slow down. So, but I do my best with the time that I will share. God bless you all, and we will overcome this too. Peace and love, y'all.